Yeah, I stole that. I don't know if I am ever going to do that again. Anyway, at least not with the sound effects. So, it is the second Friday of October. I know I haven't posted the second Friday of September yet, but it's coming. I have had a lot of things going on, Montana and Comic-Con and things. So, we got another second Friday to do. Was kind of unhappy, and by kind of I mean fairly unhappy, with the results of last month's second Friday, Night on the Town, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to try and do a little better this time. It has been going for officially 30 minutes. Last time we got out, it was like 2 hours after it started. I figured, I'll be fashionably late. But apparently I live in a really small town that people don't really do things after the hour of 6 or 7. I don't even understand. But, like I said, it's been rolling for half an hour. I gotta pack up my stuff, and we gotta go. So, I almost forgot. Since this is Adventures in Photography, I'm conducting a small experiment. So, let me fill you in. Last Christmas, I believe, I was gifted with a set of lights. They're pretty cheap. I'll throw a link to them in the description because they are really cheap. So if you're looking for some cheap-ass lights, it was 4 of these guys. I think it was they were like $10 a light. And these are super bright. Super, super bright. Well, super bright considering there's 10 LEDs. I don't know if you can see that. There's 10 LEDs in these things. And they came with these tungsten, and there's also some sunlight filters for them too. The tungsten are the only ones that I really use. I use the tungsten to kind of dim it a little bit, but it doesn't really work as a diffuser very well. I use them straight, and then I've been going through a sheet. So, this is don't judge me. I was pooping a couple days ago, and I saw that my girlfriend had a diffuser for her blow dryer, and I said, I've never seen her use that. So I finish my business, wash my hands, and I say, hey, baby, why do you have a diffuser that you never use? And she said, oh, I got that for a thing, and I used it once, and I've never used it before. And I said, interesting. It looks like it's about the right size to do, so I can make a softbox for one of these goofy little lights. Oh, and it's built-in power, so you can't really do a whole lot with them. That's really cool, though, because they have these little, and I gotta do this one-handed. It's got a built-in stand. Cameras. There you go. Okay, so built-in stand, right? You can, check that out. Stands up all by itself. Yeah, super cool. Anyway, so the input to the diffuser looked like it was about this big around, right? So I can do that one-handed. Unscrew that. This is the tip of it, right? So the little diffuser goes on there, and then it changes the color, the white balance of the color. And then this keeps it on. And I was looking at it, and I said, very interesting. So for those of you that are male and not super familiar with hair products and blow dryer attachments, pardon me, I'm a little sick. So you might be asking what a diffuser is. Well, I've already taken it apart, and I don't have another one to show you. Should have been thinking ahead a little bit, but I feel like you'll get the idea. So a diffuser is a little cone that people who use hair dryers, it's got this at the large end of the cone, and then the small end attaches to the mouth of the hair dryer that spits out the air. I'm not 100% sure what it does. I guess it's supposed to help add volume to your hair. I don't know. But it was just kept on. You can't really see it. I'll show you the screws. It was attached to that with these 3 screws. So it was real simple modification. And so right here, ooh, so pretty. That is it drying. I had some adhesive, and lo and behold, it was dang near exactly the size of the ring. So all I had to do was put glue around the outside of the adhesive around the outside of the diffuser cone, and now I'm just waiting for it to dry. It's got to sit like that for a few hours. Anyway, that being said, I'm not going to get to use it. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sheet that I've been using, because I have no other use for the sheet. I think it's a queen size sheet and I have a king size bed, so whatever. So I'm going to cut the sheet that I was using and then adhere it to the cone itself, so it's a built-in diffuser. That way it's a little bit more portable. Again, with the built-in power, it doesn't make it super portable, because you're limited to, well, is there a power strip within 3 feet? Or a power supply, something? Anyway, that being said, that was my adventure today in photography. That was my first adventure today, at least, in photography. More in videography, because lighting I'm worried a little bit more in videos than I am in photos, because most of my photos I use available light. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's go take pictures of people enjoying art, shall we? All right. Oh, it's really dark. You probably can't see me. So going to approach this week or this month a little bit differently than we have in the past. Going to approach this month a little bit differently than we did last month. Go through a couple of the stops in the vlog setting and then show you the pictures that I took. So this epic B-roll. This is Art Space. Not going to stop at the gallery here, but Art Space is an interesting thing because it's subsidized housing for artists. So it's kind of cool because it's specifically for artists, but it's subsidized by tax dollars, so that kind of bugs me. If it was subsidized by like local businesses who opted in to subsidize it because this little town prides itself on being super art friendly, then that would be one thing. But it gets tax dollars from people who don't know what it is, don't give a shit about art, and I don't know, anyway, that's me probably being a little too conservative. But it's cool because it's for artists, but it's not cool because what if I didn't want to pay for that artist to live there? Anyway, so yeah, that's Art Space. Also, I wanted to mention, because it's adventures in photography and not just, ooh, big truck. It's small town America. There's a lot of small penises around here that people have to make up for with their truck. Anyway, so because it's called Adventures in Photography and not just staying in my comfort zone, I changed the settings on my little rip-off GoPro, which is what I'm talking to you through right now. So the setting I normally shoot on is 1080. This was like a $40 GoPro rip-off, so there's not a whole lot in the way of features. But it does have, it does shoot in 1080. It shoots 1080 30p. I switched it down to 720 so I could roll 60 frames a second. And we're going to play with the proper slow-mo, since I've been doing horrible slow-mo recently. We're going to play with proper slow-mo when we're editing this. So we'll see how that turns out. I was gonna stop recording, but that whole spiel has taken us to almost to the Loveland Art Gallery, or the I can't even remember what it's called. Art Spaces? No, Art Space is the apartment slash gallery slash tax write-off. Art studio. I can't even remember it, but this is where I got most of the usable footage from last time. So this time, gonna get even more usable footage. Like I said, we're playing with 60 frames, so I'm gonna try and do some slow-mo. And here we go. Loveland Art Works. Art Space is the apartment building. Art Works is the studios. There's a board and you got to pay rent to be in there. It would be really fun to try and get a spot in there, but I'm broke. So yeah, so now we're just gonna do some street shots. Let's give it a shot. $100 sleepy little town. And I don't know. My thoughts on the second Fridays thing. I don't know. I think all over Colorado they try and do something. I know down in Longmont they have something resembling the second Friday. It all started with Denver, who does First Friday. But Denver legitimately has a whole art district. So I don't know if you could consider downtown Loveland an art district. There are some art studios, so I don't know. Eventually, I feel like it's going to be something worth noting. Right now, it's still a little sleepy, still a little small, but we get away with it. And I'm walking through some more crowds, so we're going to do a little bit more B-roll, I think. So yeah, I just walked through the entire downtown area, or the art district, and it took me, I'm going to check the time count on the camera real quick, 1 second. It took me under 6 minutes to walk from one end to the other. I feel like we have a little bit of growing to do. There's some great artists, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock the town. I'm not necessarily trying to knock the art. I'm just, the people want it to be something that it hasn't quite become yet, and they try and tout it as such. But still kind of fun. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, definitely hit the thumbs up button. If you are new to the channel, give me a subscribe if you like what I'm trying to do here. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. I don't care. Either way, thank you for coming on this adventure in photography with me. I got a couple of good shots tonight. Nothing spectacular, but some I feel like a little bit better than last month. And before we go, I just have to remind everybody that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here. And if it's cheap photography, it's probably here too.